Hello, my name is Ocean, and I am going to be doing the Lesson 5 video reflection and analysis, where I'm going to be talking about 4 different prompts. The first one is based on my understanding of the Hertzberg's two-factor theory of job satisfaction. I'll be talking about what types of incentives or employee programs are most likely to reduce job dissatisfaction, and what types of incentives or employee programs are most likely to increase job satisfaction. So, hygiene factors. These stop people from being unhappy. And motivators. These make people feel happy and satisfied at work. Incentive or programs that reduce job dissatisfaction. These tend to focus on basic needs and fair treatment. They don't make people like their jobs, but they do stop complaints. Some examples I would say are like job security, good relationships with supervisors, managers, and coworkers, clear company rules and policies, fair pay, benefits, salary, health insurance, paid time off, safe and clean working conditions. If some of these things are missing, some employees might become uncomfortable and unhappy. When these things are provided, employees stop being dissatisfied or unhappy, but they may still not feel excited about their jobs. Incentives or programs that increase job satisfaction. These focus more on personal growth, feeling valued. They actually make people like their job more, enjoy coming to work. I would say some of those things are like being able to level up in your job, like building programs, skill building programs, training, learning new things, always feeling like you're going to achieve more things. Being trusted and having more responsibilities, meaningful work, challenging work. People like to be challenged, maybe even competition, opportunities for promotion. It kind of all ties in together. Praise, rewards, like employee of the month, stuff like that. And now I'm going to talk about the second prompt, which talks about McClelland's acquired needs theory and Masslow's hereditary of needs. Sorry, I don't really know how to say that correctly. And ERG theory of all explain why people are motivated. But they do do it in different ways, like how people are motivated in different ways. McClelland's acquired needs theory is basically saying that people develop their needs over time, like how they were raised, their culture, their background. The 3 main needs are achievement, power, affiliation, like things that you're related to. Like if someone grew up in a competitive environment with like other siblings that are all trying to get, something, they may develop a strong need for achievement. While other people might have been raised in a different environment that's more like community-based and everybody helped each other. It might be focused more on like their culture, and they may value relationships more. This theory focuses more on learning, your learned experience, not things that people are born with. This is more things that you've learned growing up in your environment. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is organized like a pyramid. It starts with basic needs like food, safety, then it moves to like love, belonging, confidence, self-esteem, self-actualization. Maslow believed people must meet lower needs before they can level up to anything higher. Than their higher ones, they have to meet the lower ones first, of course. This theory is easy to understand, but it does not always work in real life. It's not always that neat. ERG theory is similar to Maslow's, but simpler and more flexible. It groups people in categories. Existence, basic needs, relatedness, relationships, personal development. Not like Maslow's, the ERG theory says people can focus on more than one type of need at a time and can move back and forth between them, which I feel like I might agree with more. I feel like out of the three, Miklin's acquired needs theory is the most useful and realistic, because it does show and say that, people are shaped by their experiences, their environment, their culture, their family, how they were raised, and not everyone is motivated by the same things, and I've seen that in real life. And this explains that people have different goals and values. And yes, I've seen people at school really get involved in group projects and want to be the boss and just want to get it done right. And then I've seen people really worried about their grades, and they're like, I need to get an A, and that's really what they're focused on. And then I've seen other people that are just kind of laid back, and they just want to pass the class and, sit in the back and chill. So everybody's different. And now I'm going to talk about the third prompt, which is okay, so I'm going to be talking about the dealership. Yes, if I was a manager of a dealership and everybody was meeting their quota every week for sales, some reasons why this might not be good would be like, maybe the quota's too easy and people aren't trying to go past that. People are just comfortable with what they're doing, and being comfortable is not going to push the company, to become bigger or make more money. So they could miss out on chances to grow and beat competitors, and they should be pushing people a little bit so they can have more effort. But in another sense, it could be negative because people might be focused too much on meeting a quota and pushing sales that aren't wanted, and it could be another reason why it's negative. Yeah, it's basically just you need to push people. I would say that's more of the one. But you also don't want to rush people into making deals. That could be negative. But it's either or. One issue could be the goal's too easy. If everyone is always meeting the goals, there's not really room to improve, and it kind of gets boring. And it's either or. Yeah, so either we need to have more goals to push people to make more money and be more motivated and to climb a ladder of success and make the company grow bigger, or it could be negative because you're focusing on a weekly goal and it could cause the salespeople to rush deals or pressure customers and to hit numbers, and that could hurt the customer's trust and the relationship with the customers, and that could hurt in the long run too. You know, even though hitting goals sounds good, it doesn't always mean everything is going well. So, and also, this could be the managers trying to make it look like everything is going smooth by keeping it low, by keeping a low goal, which is not always good. So yeah, it's never good to, you know, I always want to push people and maybe step your game up, whatever you think. The fourth prompt is the procedural versus distributive justice. This distributive justice is about, you know, what people get, like pay raises, promotions, and procedural justice is about how those decisions are made. So procedural is perceptions of procedural justice. It's based on real life experiences, but they're also like strongly influenced by personal perception. Distributive justice is about whether outcomes are fair, such as pays, promotions, awards. Procedural justice focuses more on whether the process is used to make decisions is fair. Even when managers follow fair rules, employees may still feel treated unfairly if they don't understand why those decisions were made. Or if they compare themselves to others. I have a good example of that recently. At a job I'm at right now, I am a cashier, and I was given the opportunity or the chance to do training as a server. And they kind of just did training for me for 2 days and then just like took me off the schedule and didn't say anything about it ever again and just put me as the cashier. And they even tried to put me as a busser, but I said I don't want to do that. So I just kind of stayed as the cashier. And I'm also going to do some running, but it's just, I didn't like how they didn't tell me what I did wrong so I could try to improve or say anything about it. They just kind of took me off the schedule and acted like it never happened. It was kind of like I felt disrespected. I just felt kind of like looked over, like I wasn't, you know, like I obviously did something wrong if they just trained me to be a server and then never said anything about it again. It kind of hurt my feelings, and I just felt confused and lost. And then they went on to train 2 other people that I work with that you know, are younger than me and were employed there too after me, trained them to be servers, and now they are servers. So I just wish they could have communicated it better with me, like what I did wrong, if there's something I could have done to improve, instead of just acting like it never happened, you know. I was kind of upsetting, and I ended up looking for another job and finding another job. And now I only work there like 2 days a week, and I updated my schedule because I just don't like that. It was hurtful, and it hurt my feelings, and I didn't like it. And I don't feel like I should go up to the managers and ask them what I did wrong. I feel like if they want to improve me or their employees, they should come up to me and tell me what I did wrong and say they want me to do better and give me a chance to improve myself. So that for me is a big one that hit home. When I saw this on the assignment, I was like, wow, this is correct, because managers definitely can reduce inaccurate perceptions of workplaces and unfairness by being clear and open about decisions and explaining why choices are made, listening to employees' concerns and applying rules the same way to everyone, can help build trust. Managers should also give employees a chance to share their opinions, but they shouldn't just leave it up to them. They should take initiative because they are the managers. When workers feel heard and respected, they're more likely to believe that decisions are fair, and if the outcome is not what they hope for, it would be better if I was at least informed on why the outcome was not what I hoped for. But instead, I got silence. So that's that, and I enjoyed doing this assignment, and I hope I improved from last week. If I didn't, I would appreciate more comments, and so I can keep on improving. And thank you for this opportunity to be in this class.